So, for a while now, I've been drinking some depresso espresso in the back of my brain where the demons kick it at. And lately, the depresso espresso has been kind of tasting like poop water, you know what I mean? And I'm getting real tired of it, and I'm really hating on it, so I don't want to drink it anymore, and I kind of want to get out of that slump, and the first thing that I think of to do that is to draw the two characters I love the most, which is the pair Nikki and Ward. So hi everyone, I'm Ward, and welcome to my channel Wardrawsalot, and this week we're going to be drawing Nikki and Ward because they make me happy. Admittedly, the depresso espresso is kind of all year round, I'm not gonna lie, you know, it's a cute little drink I sip on every once in a while, you know, but it's been weighing pretty heavy on me as of late, and I kind of just, I don't know, I've lost enjoyment in a lot of things, which sucks because the things I enjoy are, well, the things I enjoy, right? They're things that bring me happiness and make me feel secure and safe almost, but when you drink that little drinky drink, you know, it makes you lose the will for a lot of things. I'm trying to say this in like the least sad ways possible, right? So I don't have to come to grips with it either. But realistically, yeah, everybody has their little slumps, and some last longer than others, way longer than others. And if you're in that slump, I hope you get out of it soon too. It sucks, but you know, it's real. Everybody goes through it, and eventually people do get out of it. You just got to give it some time, and more importantly, give yourself some time to feel it out. Don't ignore the emotion, feel it out, and let it kind of just rock with you for a little bit, and then eventually you'll come out of that slump. I'm not in any way a physician, so whatever your physician tells you, if they say otherwise, do that, okay? I'm just telling you from my perspective. But yes. I hope you all feel better if you're going through that, and if you're already happy, I'm genuinely happy for you, and I hope things only ever get better for all of us. So yeah. Alright, now that we got our little inspirational message through the day, now I kind of want to talk about the drawing. So, if you've come to this channel before, you know that I've drawn Nikki and Ward a good amount of times. Mostly Nikki. Ward I finally redesigned a few months ago, and I'm very happy with how she is. I realized the other day that I haven't drawn them together in like a very, very long time, and nonetheless, I've never drawn them together in a loving fashion, if that makes any sense. It's always almost been like a distant shyness between the two of them whenever I would draw them together, or something that's like not solidified within a relationship, you know? So, as of recent, I've wanted to do this pose right here where he's kind of putting on lipstick onto her, and the reason why is because I personally think that that is one of the most intimate things a partner can do for another, is putting on makeup on the partner and, you know, kind of looking at them and admiring their beauty. And it's honestly something, and to me anyway, that is so beautiful and that I love seeing, that I honestly wanted to capture it between the two of them. But the only thing about that, right, is I keep hitting the damn table whenever I talk, bro. I don't know if you heard that in the audio. That's what I get for being one of those people who speaks with their hands instead of, like, you know, just speaking normally. But anyway, so the main issue that I had with this, right, was my lack of skill. So originally when I tried to do this drawing, it ended up kind of like this, and I didn't like it, okay? It just seemed very off. The way he, I guess, looks in comparison to her doesn't make any sense anatomically, like she's kind of squished into his body, and it just didn't look right, so I kind of had to take it back to square one. So I went online and tried to look up some poses that could help me kind of figure out what I wanted to do, and I wasn't finding anything. It was actually pretty hard to kind of find an image of somebody putting lipstick on a partner or a person. There were some that were like a little close to it, but nothing that I was visualizing. So I ended up having to kind of bust out the old the old reliable, which were the figmas that I got forever ago. And I'm really talking about like forever ago. I think it was back in like, I had like 2017, 2018 or something like that. I remember ordering them, and I was so excited because I was like, yes, I get to actually use these and they would help me out. And they kind of did, but my anatomy was still so weak back then that like it just didn't make sense for me to use them. so I quickly dropped them. So recently I was like, okay, now that I at least have a better sense of anatomy, I could probably use these figures and they would help me with this drawing right here. Now, let me tell you guys the struggle, the absolute, like, struggle I had with these figmas. So, for reference, I got them used, right? I'm a big believer in why not buy something used. If it can have a second home and you can use it and we can, like, you know, waste less by buying more and all that stuff, then I'm into it, right? That's why, like, almost all of my Copics are completely used, and I'm fine with that. Like, when they came to me, I cleaned them, I took care of them, and I still take care of them, and I love them, right? And I got them for a significant discount because they were used. So when I bought those figmas used, the bad thing about them was that some of the joints were already kind of loose, and, you know, that sucks because once a figma or like a doll of that size, it's like 6 inches, starts having loose joints, it gets really irritating really quick because they're so small and the pieces that attach to them are, again, so small that you having to put them on over and over and over again because they keep falling off just gets really frustrating, honestly. So, after struggling for, I think, legitimately, like, 2 hours, because I was trying to, like, hot glue the stand back on, because it broke, and I ignored it, and then, like, trying to put together the, you know, pieces that I want, it was, like, a nightmare, bro. It just kept falling off, and I was like, yo, I'm about to just drop these figures entirely. I was like, what if I just got one of those 3D models or did something like that? And I was like, no, bro, I don't know, something about 3D models just doesn't mesh well with my brain. Did I say mesh mel? Not mesh well? Hold on, let me hear that back. I did indeed said mesh mel. I did indeed said, oh my god, bro. Can you tell I'm out of the game for a minute, bro? Can you tell I'm struggling over here? But, okay, but, like, my brain just doesn't mesh well with, like, 3D models online, and I don't know why, but I just can't capture it properly in my brain unless I see it physically in front of me. Until I see it physically in front of me, then I'm kind of lost a little bit. But for the most part, I've gotten better at kind of at least trying to capture that in my brain. It's just taking me way longer than the average artist because I'm not an art brain, I'm a math brain, so we have that kind of like there, you know. But so what I did as a result was I just kind of held them together until I could capture this pose right here, which was significantly closer to what I wanted at the very least, or something that I could at least work around to try and use for these characters. Now, quickly I came into another roadblock, okay? After I took the picture, I kind of looked at it really close, right? And I was like, this doesn't anatomically make sense. Like, the figures just they just don't look like, they don't look anatomically right at all. And I noticed immediately because of two things. Number one, his arm, like where his elbow sits is all the way down at his hip. Like maybe there are, you know, people who do exist like that their elbow hits their hip and then their arms go down. That is perfectly normal. Where humans, our genetics are so vast and different, it's a possibility. But anatomically correct, I think that our elbows kind of hit where our waist is, and our arms just kind of sit down almost at our hip or to the middle of our thigh. I think that's like our usual thing that's going on here. It could be, now that I think about it, that somebody has a shorter torso, so maybe their elbow kind of looks like it sits instead at their hip instead of their waist. Everybody's built differently, so I have to definitely look into that more, but I'm just trying to think around why the figure just kind of looked off to me. So that's one thing that was like stand out, oh my god, that stood out to me. But the next thing that like looked weird in the picture was the fact that his head was like really small, like a little too small for his body, especially compared to her head, which was like pretty large. It looked like they kind of had like messed up, you know, anime proportions, which is fine. Sometimes anime proportions are really good, and sometimes they're very stylized and characterized. So you have really big heads, really big eyes, really big whatever else is, right? But for the most part, for these figures and trying to learn how to draw and using them anatomically correctly, they were not good in the long run, Granted, it's been a very long time, and maybe my drawing style has shifted so much more than what it used to be. So maybe back then it looked like it was correct to me, but now it kind of doesn't. There are probably way better figures on the market to kind of give a better sense of how to draw something anatomically correct, and I need to look at which kind of figures those are, but for now, those figures kind of like, they were a flop in the long run, but it's okay. I mean, some people do get their use out of it, like I did. It gave me a really nice outline as to how to do the pose that I wanted, especially when, you know, there was nowhere else that I could find a reference or a pose like it. So it really did help at least paint that outline of how it's supposed to look like, and then I came in and then anatomically fixed some things, like the arm length or the head size, and etc, etc. But truly, after everything, the lesson that I learned here was that I need to practice anatomy more, and I've known that for a while, but like here, when I'm doing a difficult pose, I really sat down and told myself, like, dang, like, I really need to like practice more, bro. I'm gonna struggle with this the rest of my life unless I get a good grip on it. Granted, I've gotten way better over the years, and my proportions look better, and I can catch myself sometimes even when I'm drawing and something doesn't look right, but I still have like a long ways to go, like a super long ways. So I bought that Morpho book, and it literally came in while I was filming this, like I think either like a few hours beforehand or something, or while filming. I honestly can't remember, but it came in that day, and I was like, okay, I have the book in front of me now. When I get the chance, which is hopefully in a few days, or maybe even after I finish this video, we'll see how the cards align, I get to actually go through the book and use it and practice. And I've heard a lot of people have like really good opinions on this art book, and that it really helps break down what they need to do in order to figure out how to anatomically draw. So I'm kind of excited to see that. They also have like other books, not only just for like the body entirely, but specifics like hands, feet. They have clothing and other ones that I can't remember. One's about fat people and one's about muscly people. Those two I remember, but I think there's more. Regardless, eventually I'll kind of maybe own my little collection of them so I can use them as reference and go back to them and learn enough from them to where I can kind of depend on the books less. But over time, even artists who are really good with anatomy still need to look up their references and still need to figure things out. So honestly, if you're somebody who struggles with anatomy like me, don't ever beat yourself up about it. Eventually you'll get it, just give yourself some time. I know when I was making the pose, it was like the two of them together, and rarely ever do I truly draw more than one person on a page at a time. That's like a bad habit I've kept over the years, even from when I was like a kid in my own sketchbooks. It's always like one character on the page, and it was always because I was afraid to do more than one character because I was afraid it would always look bad. I've grown older now, and I'm not really so much afraid of it looking bad as I am afraid of it looking wrong. Does that make any sense? Like, it just, you can tell when a piece is like a little off sometimes, and I feel like with my art it could definitely be very in your face when it looks wrong. I know some things here, even though I fixed up the anatomy, I still messed up the anatomy as well, and I'm fine with it. I mean, like, I love the overall piece. Like, I don't even care what I messed up because to me it looks really cute and I don't care. But I realized that the hand holding the lipstick is a little weird. The fact that the one boob is just completely protruding out when it should be a little bit back. His right one, I think it is. I think it's his right boob is a little too far out. Like, especially if his body is kind of like to the side, it just doesn't make any sense. But who cares? sometimes brain off, draw on. You know what I mean? Like I don't really care sometimes when I'm coming out of a slump how it looks entirely correct, but at least correct enough, you know what I'm saying? I still had fun drawing this entire piece, even though there was like a lot of struggle. I really like that I kind of made them cohesive with their outfits, mostly with the red and black scheme going on. Her outfit is black, but she has a red purse, red lipstick, and partly red eyeshadow to kind of tie it all in together with him. His shirt would be like in my head, would be like a red kind of silky shirt going on, and then like silky black pants to kind of match as well. I think that they go together really well with these colors. I feel like both of them suit red and black very well. Is it possible for a drawn character to not suit a color? Is it? That's actually a very interesting question. Maybe it's a very personality based, like depending on the character you make. Is the colors that you use for that character just not right? Does it not sit with them correctly? That's like an interesting question. I get now that I think of it. It's like you have a character, and let's say they're very much for the goth style. If you put them away from that goth style and you put them into, let's say, like a bimbo kind of style, would it feel wrong on them? Would it feel different or weird, or would it still feel like them? That's actually pretty interesting. I wonder how other people would kind of interpret that too. As per usual, we did give him his little accessories. I was gonna say ornaments. His earrings, some necklace, little bracelet, all kind of like matching together, and it's cut off from his hand, but she would be wearing something of the silver kind as well. To tie the silver kind of back in, I went into my washi tape little bag that I have not touched in a very, very long time, and I got this silver washi tape that has like little hearts kind of engraved in it, or like in a different texture, and I kind of just put it around the drawing and put it in spots where I thought that it would fill up nicely. Sometimes I like to put in something different into the drawing just because it feels so empty, and these pages were definitely empty, but I didn't want to doodle anything out because I kind of just wanted to keep it the three main focuses, which are the three drawings here. My favorite drawing of the bunch, although I love all three of them, I really like that tiny one where it's like the cute little award face, and then you have Nikki there as well, just kind of hugging her. It's kind of like the aftermath of him putting on the lipstick and he just finds her adorable. And then we come over to the third drawing, which is he has kisses all over him. I thought that that was like a nice little story that was kind of told between the three drawings. It's very simple, but it definitely had the story told very outwardly, you know what I mean? Of course, the last struggle of the drawing is going to be me putting in the wrong date, as in 1/7/23 instead of 1/7/24, because we all kind of do that. We all like write the last year's date for like at least the first week or two. And now finally we have the finished drawings. I love the way they came out. I really like the blending, the way they're looking at each other, the vibe the drawing gives off. It's very sweet. It's very lovey, and that's something I don't normally draw. And I loved every step of it, even though I was struggling through a lot of it. So yeah, thanks for watching, everybody, and remember, I love you. Bye!